Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Anthony Martial gone. Who's next to leave Manchester United? Anthony Martial has just landed in Spain ahead of his loan move to Sevilla. Martial has joined Sevilla on loan until the end of the season. There's no option to buy. There's no loan fee. Sevilla are paying Anthony Martial's full wages until June. I think there's a very good chance that Jesse Lingard will be the next player to leave Manchester United. Now, Sky Sports News have said today that Newcastle are prepared to pay a loan fee for Manchester United forward Jesse Lingard, as well as the player's full wages. It said yesterday that Newcastle made a 10 million loan offer for Lingard. Don't forget, Manchester United rejected Newcastle's first approach for Lingard. Jesse Lingard is keen on a loan move to Newcastle, but Manchester United would prefer to let Lingard leave permanently this month. Newcastle have already done transfer business in this January transfer window. They signed Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid, and they signed Chris Wood from Burnley. They try to get Diego Carlos as well. Revert back to Lingard. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Lingard doesn't get in our team, but he has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy and that. At the second half of last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Now, on my last video, I gave you the news on Donny van de Beek. You know, he could be the next player to leave Manchester United. Donny van de Beek is wanted on loan by Crystal Palace and Valencia. Ralf Rangnick is reluctant to allow Donny van de Beek to join Crystal Palace. Any loan move for Van de Beek will not include an option to buy, as Manchester United intend to keep Donny van de Beek next season. Everton also want Donny van de Beek. He should have moved to Everton last summer. Dortmund were in for him earlier on this season, and Van de Beek has been linked with Newcastle. I think Van de Beek rejected a move to Newcastle. Earlier on this season, it said Donny van de Beek is not allowed to leave Manchester United this month. He did have a bust-up with his agent. But you can't blame Van de Beek for wanting to leave. He doesn't get enough opportunities. He didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer, and he certainly hasn't been given enough opportunities under Rangnick. Van de Beek's only scored 2 goals for the club. He's been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. Manchester United got Donny van de Beek for Ajax. We got him in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Now, are Manchester United going to make a signing in this January transfer window? The transfer window shuts in just under a week. Manchester United have been linked with a lot of players. Now, there's been a lot of narratives coming out about Boubacar Kamara recently from Marseille. Spanish outlet Marca said that Manchester United are in pole position to sign Marseille midfielder Boubacar Kamara. Marseille want just £10 million. Boubacar Kamara wants in the region of £150,000 a week if he's to depart Marseille this month. He's out of contract at Marseille in the summer. Leeds have been interested in him. Aston Villa have been in for him, and Marca did report that Real Madrid and Barcelona have been linked with him. Boubacar Kamara, he's only the age of 22, predominantly a defensive midfielder but can be deployed as a centre-back. He's been at Marseille for 17 years. He came up their academy, joined their academy in 2005. He's made over 100 appearances for Marseille. Manchester United have also been relentlessly linked with Denis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. There's still rumours going on about Amadou Haidara. He said Ralf Rangnick is pressing to sign Amadou Haidara this month. Sky Sports Germany said not so long ago that RB Leipzig could sell Amadou Haidara for 46 million in this January transfer window. Earlier on this month it said Ralf Rangnick verbally agreed a 33 million fee to sign Amadou Haidara. Rangnick knows the player well, which is beneficial. Revert back to earlier on this season, Rangnick said he wanted Amadou Haidara as his first signing as Man United manager. Haidara has a 33 million release clause. He's been at Leipzig since 2019 and he's got a contract with them until 2025. He's the age of 23 and he is a midfielder. Manchester United, of course, have been linked with Ousmane Dembele. Earlier on this month, it said Manchester United are prepared to sign Ousmane Dembele this month, but only on a free transfer. Reports in France said that Barcelona are willing to sell Ousmane Dembele for just 17 million. And Dembele insists he'll be not blackmailed by Barcelona and he's already been told to leave Barcelona. I don't want Dembele at Manchester United. The reason is because he's too injury prone. Dembele's out of contract at Barcelona at the end of the season. But Manchester United are trying to get a midfielder because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Manchester United recently beat West Ham 1-0. Reflecting on the win against West Ham, that put Manchester United into the top 4. The goal against West Ham came from Marcus Rashford in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. You know, Marcus Rashford came off the bench. Rashford also came off the bench in the 3-1 win against Brentford and scored. Reflecting on that, that ended Marcus Rashford's 3-month goal drought. So Rashford's got 2 goals in his last 2 games. After the game against West Ham, Rangnick said that Rashford is one of the top strikers in England. But it's good that Rashford's found some form because, let's be honest, he has endured a lot of poor games since he had that operation on his shoulder. And Rashford's not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He's just recovered from a minor leg injury not so long ago. Rashford has 18 months left on his current £200,000 a week deal. Earlier on this season, it said Rashford was preparing to open contract talks with Manchester United. There's a good chance now that Man United can get top 4 this season. Well, Ralf Rangnick will receive a £500,000 bonus if he leads Manchester United to a top 4 finish. Rangnick earns £180,000 a week. Ralf Rangnick has managed 10 games so far as Manchester United's interim manager. He's only lost 1 game so far. And reflecting on the win against West Ham, that was the first time Man United had won back-to-back games under Ralf Rangnick. So Rangnick is our interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did say that Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Do you think there's any chance that Manchester United will offer Rangnick the job on a permanent basis? Well, if he can win a trophy with us and he can get us a top 4 finish, then there's always a chance, isn't there? You know, we need to win a trophy this season. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Rangnick was under pressure because it was saying that Rangnick, was already losing the dressing room, and it did mention that 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. But despite that, earlier on this month, Rangnick got told that he has transfer funds available this month and he will be backed by the Glazers. But reflecting on, the last 2 wins, that would have eased some pressure on Rangnick. There's been good performances under him. There's also been poor performances as well. Prior to the Brentford game, Rangnick announced Manchester United's new formation. It's the 4-3-3 formation. That formation suits our standards under Rangnick. The 4-2-2 formation got scrapped because quite clearly that formation was not working. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Manchester United have drawn up a 4-man shortlist to replace Rangnick in the summer. The Athletic said recently that Mauricio Pochettino, Erik ten Hag, Luis Enrique and Jalen Lopetegui are top candidates. Now, Rangnick said that he wants Erik ten Hag to become Manchester United's next manager. I presume there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. And I like the way he develops young players. He's been at Ajax for 5 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves. And before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. As for Mauricio Pochettino, he's been relentlessly linked with a managerial role at Man United. Pochettino is the PSG manager. I think he's got like 18 months left on his contract at PSG. He's won a French Cup at PSG. Pochettino is a good manager. even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. Before Pochettino endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four, but back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. At one point when he was Tottenham manager, he almost won the league with them. And before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with Southampton, but he still got Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before then he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Ole instead. And Luis Enrique, he's the coach of Spain, and Julen Lopetegui is the Sevilla manager. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. You know, we've sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. We sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. He enjoyed one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season, did Mourinho. The 3 trophies he won was the Europa League, the EFL Cup and the Community Shield. But the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board. Because the board didn't recommend the players he wanted to get in, and he had bad disputes with the top players. And of course last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Solskjaer's final game in charge of Manchester United was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. If you do remember rightly, when Solskjaer officially got sacked, he gave a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable. Because obviously Solskjaer adores the club, you know, he was part of the club for a long time, and Solskjaer is a club legend, and he always will be a club legend. That's what got mentioned on the statement when he officially got sacked. I don't think Manchester United really wanted to sack Solskjaer, but they was left with no choice in the end but to sack him. Because revert back to the last few months of Solskjaer's managerial tenure, you know, the performances were terrible and the results were terrible to go with the performances. But reflecting on that, not all of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer. Also, players had to take responsibility as well. Manchester United paid off Solskjaer around $7.5 million because, revert back to last summer, Solskjaer signed a contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Manchester United made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract because we knew for a long time that he wasn't the long-term manager for Man United. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager, does he? The clubs he's managed so far in his managerial career, you know, he managed Manchester United's reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. He managed Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was terrible. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with Cardiff. He got sacked from Cardiff because he got them relegated. He enjoyed 2 spells at Molde. Won a few Norwegian titles and that, but they're not a big club. And of course he managed Manchester United's senior squad. You know, Solskjaer as a Man United player did have a proven pedigree. Solskjaer won a lot of trophies when he was a United player. And he made 366 appearances and scored 126 goals in all competitions. His most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final at the Nou Camp back in 1999. You know, he did win the club the treble, and that is the club's greatest achievement. season was Solskjaer's third full season, and revert back to the start of this season when Ollie was United manager. You know, I did say that this season was going to be massive for him, and he had big expectations to exceed. The expectations were far too high for him to exceed at the club. And the pressure was on him because revert back to last summer, Manchester United enjoyed a very good transfer window. We made 4 signings. 3 of the 4 signings were major signings. Last summer, Man United must have spent around £141 million. And last summer when Solskjaer was United manager, he received very good backing. You know, obviously, Ed Woodward backed him. As you all know, Ed Woodward is stepping down at Manchester United at the end of this month. Ed Woodward's had, what, a 17-year association at the club. It got announced back in April last year that Woodward was leaving when that European Super League came into the equation. Richard Arnold will become Man United's chief executive to replace Ed Woodward on the 1st of February. Last summer as well, the Glazers backed Ollie. The Glazers, they've owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years. Revert back to April last year, Man United fans protested against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground in Old Trafford because obviously the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. The Glazers bought Manchester United for $500 million back in 2005. John Murtough backed Solskjaer last summer and so too did Darren Fletcher, so in the end Ollie ran out of excuses. We did appoint Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Obviously in Solskjaer's first 3 months he was the interim manager. He did well as the interim manager, so the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. Manchester United spent over 400 million under Solskjaer, didn't they? Solskjaer did sign around 14 players. Let me put into the equation as well, Solskjaer got rid of a lot of players when he was United manager. You know, he got rid of players permanently, he loaned players out. A lot of the players he got rid of permanently obviously released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. You know, he let Dan James go, he let Ashley Young go, he let Valencia go, he let Smalling go, he let Darmian go, he let Angel Gomez go, he let Fellaini go back in January 2019. Offloaded Herrera, offloaded Sanchez and offloaded Lukaku. So they are a lot of the players he got rid of permanently. I can't remember all the players Ollie loaned out. In Solskjaer's first full season, you know, he got us to 3 semi-finals and a 3rd place finish. In his second full season, he got us to the Carabao Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final, the Europa League final. That was his first major final when he was Man United manager. And he got us a 2nd place finish in his 2nd full season. Don't forget when Manchester United had Solskjaer, Manchester United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. So there you go. To be honest with you though, not much has changed since Man United sacked Ollie. Like I say, quite a lot of players are going to depart Man United this year. You know, maybe 1 or 2 more are going to leave in this January transfer window and the rest are going to leave in the summer. Like I say, Martial's gone to Sevilla now on loan. Lingard has a good chance he will be going. Cavani will probably leave in the summer because revert back to earlier on this season, Rangnick revealed that Edinson Cavani wants to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Juan Mata, he'll also leave the club as well. Van der Beek, yes, he will leave. He'll go out on loan. Matic, I think he's leaving this year. Pogba, he'll leave in the summer. Tellez, do you think he could leave the club this year? I hope not. You know, Tellez is our first choice left back under Rangnick, and he's done really well under Rangnick, to be fair, as Tellez in a lot of his games. Jones and Bailly, they'll be leaving this year as well. Reports from Spain said the other day that Man United will look to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in the summer. That duo are not good enough to represent the club. And Dean Henderson will leave as well. We're looking to get rid of Dean Henderson permanently. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.